YouTube and welcome to App Tutorial Series. In this App Tutorial Series, we're going to take a look at an app called Snapseed right over here. So let me just open up that app. And over here, once I open up that app, you can see that you can tap anywhere to open up a photo. But before that, we're going to go over to the top right where there's three little dots right here. Let me just go back. I just tapped it out. And there's three little dots. If you were to click on it, you can see that you can see the settings, you can see the tutorials and help and feedback. If you were to go to settings, you can see that you can set it to dark theme as well. If you were to turn over the switch right over here, and you can go to image resizing if you want to resize the image into different sizes. I'm just going to leave it as it is because I do not want to resize image. And there's format and quality over here. So if I were to tap over here, you can see that you can choose a compressed format right over here like JPG 80%, which compresses down the image to smaller size. But since I want high quality, I'm just going to leave it to JPG 100%. PNG is also an option, but I usually prefer JPG for its smaller size and higher quality. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to open up a picture now. So I'm just going to tap to open up a picture right here, and you can see that it brings up my recent media. So I'm going to tap on this first picture right here, and we're going to edit this out. Once we open up the picture, you can see that the styles tab is actually opened up. So you can choose any style tab right here. Like let's say you want to apply the morning effect right over here. If you were to click on it, you can see that the morning effect is applied. But I don't want to apply a preset just like this. This is a quick way to edit, but I don't want to apply a preset, so I'm going to press this cross icon right over here. So on the left side, you can see that styles is like an automatic correction right over here. And on the picture, you can see on the top, there's the undo button right over here, undo, redo, and clear look. And there's the info button right over here, which gives you the details of when the image was shot and in what settings it was shot in. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit this image manually. So I'm going to go to tools right here. And there are a bunch of tools over here, as you can see. So let me just start with the first tool right here. This is the tune image. And to edit the image over here is through your touch controls. So you can see that by default, this is the brightness setting right here. And if I were to click and drag, like tap and drag my finger left to right, it actually controls the brightness. So if you were to go here, there's a minus brightness, just like this. And if you were to tap on this top right hand corner icon right here, you can see the before and after. You have to tap and hold it to see it, and tap and get it out to actually get back. So let me just decrease the brightness a bit so that I can get the details of the cloud right here. And if I were to scroll it up and down, you can see that you see the different options for that tool. So this is the brightness. The other one is the contrast, which is the difference between the black and white. So if I were to increase the contrast, you can see that you immediately start seeing the difference between the black and white in the picture. So I'm just going to increase it a bit. You can also access the contrast by clicking on this icon right here. This is the contrast. Or you can also, what you can do is you can press on this little magical icon right over here, but I don't want to do that because that is autocorrect. I want to do everything manually right over here. So I'm just going to go over here, and then I'm going to work around with the contrast. So I'm going to go on to the saturation now, and if I were to click and drag it on the right, you can see that you get more color pop. So just not too much, just a bit. So I'm going to go over here and let's work with the ambience, which means the difference between black and white, and you get more details out. There's some highlights as well. Highlights controls the bright areas of the picture. So the trees are the dark areas over here, and the clouds are the bright areas. So if I were to go over here, you can see that I can increase the brightness of the clouds or decrease. I'm just going to decrease a bit so that there's a balance in the light. I can also go over here and work around with the shadows. I can increase the shadows right here or decrease. So let me just increase the shadows just like that. And there's a balance. So if I were to see the before and after, you can already see a major difference just like that. You can also go over here, work around with the warmth and work around, make it more warm or cool, just like this. So since this is like a cool environment, I'm just going to decrease the coolness a bit. And once you're happy with everything, so if I were to go to adjust, and you can see that different options are here. You're happy with what you have, you can just press the tick mark button right over here on the bottom left, on the bottom right, sorry, or if you don't want to apply any of the effect, you can press the cross button on the bottom left. So I'm going to press the tick mark button because I want the effect to be there. So let us look at other tools that we can work with. So there are a lot of tools, as you can see. So this is very detailed level of software. So let's go for the details. And for the details, if I were to click over here, you'll be able to see structure, which is a bit of a sharpness right over here, bold sharpness, and another one is sharpening, which you can get more details out of, just like this. If I were to use 2 fingers to zoom in, you can see the details right over here. So you can really make it sharp or dull, just like that. So I'm going to make it sharp a bit and zoom out, as you can see. So these are it for this tool. So I'm going to press the tick mark right over here to apply the settings. Now I'm going to go to tools. Let's go to curves. So curves are really useful if you're actually used to Photoshop tools. So now you can actually drag up the curve right over here to control the bright areas of the picture, or use this one to control the dark areas. So I don't want to really work around too much, so I'm just going to increase the brightness a bit, and I don't want the picture to be too dark, so I'm going to keep it as it is. These are the mid-tones, just like this, as you can see. You can also go over here, work around with individual color tones, like there's RGB, there's red color tone, so it only controls the red. There's the green color tone that only controls the green, as you can see, and the blue color tone only controls the blue area. So I do want to work around with blues a bit because I want the sky color to pop up, as you can see. And luminance is what controls the brightness over here. So brightness, only the brightness of the picture, just like this. So you can see this or not, just like that. And over here there are different sort of contrast options, presets, which I'm not going to use currently, just like this. So I'm happy with this, so I'm going to press the check mark button right over here, and there you go. So let us go to the other tool right here, which is the white balance. And what you can do with this is you can auto adjust it. I'm going to undo this. And you can also work around with the temperature over here, and work around with the temperature right over here. You can make it warm or cool, just like that. So this is white balance, and tinting gives a bit of a pinkish tone or a greenish tone, just like this. So let me just have a pinkish tone. You can also use the color picker and then color any area to work around with the white balance as well. But anyways, I'm not gonna work around with that, so I'm just going to use this to actually get back. So just use the tint, get to the area I want, tint right there, and on the temperature it seems to be very cool, so I'm just going to get it back, and I'm going to press the tick mark button right here. So you can see that I have this look till now, and over here is the crop. So you can use different sort of cropping options right over here to give out a different look. So I'm gonna have a more of a square look over here. So let's say I want to do it like an Instagram post. I can also move this around, zoom this in, just like that. I can resize this, and let's say I just want this, so I'm gonna keep it that way. And now I'm gonna press the tick mark button right over here. So that's the cropping. I'm gonna go into tools, and you can see that I also have rotate. So I can just click and drag it. Hold and drag it, and you can see that it really rotates around the picture and it crops it out for you. But I don't want to actually apply this, so I'm just gonna press this cross mark button right over here. So I'm gonna go to tools again, and let's see what else you have. You have the perspective, so that's interesting to see. If I were to click and drag it, you can see that you can change the perspective right over here, and the artificial intelligence actually fills out the gaps just like that as well. You can also go over here and you can rotate this out just like this. You can rotate, you can scale everything, and you can even do a free form just like this and drag around the corners, and the artificial intelligence, you can see that fills up. And there are some artifact errors right over here on the left side, as you can see, because like that's not how the picture is. It's simply artificial intelligence, means it is not the actual content of the image. So I don't want to apply any of this, so I'm going to press the cross button right over here. So I'm going to go to the tool again, and I have the selective tool right over here. So this is more for, like, you can select something out right here, and then you can work around with this. So you can select something just like this and work around with the brightness. You can select this area right here, so go over here, you can select different areas right over here, work around with the brightness. So you want to work around with separate environment right over here, you can work around with its contrast as well. As you can see, you can work around with its structure as well. So if you want to just focus on that area, you can do that. So but I don't need to do that for this picture again, so I'm going to press the cross button right over here. So let us go to the tool again, and there is the brush tool. So what the brush tool does is, you can see that there's exposure brush tool, temperature, and so forth. So let me just go to temperature right over here, and then I'll just drag around over here, so I can increase and decrease the temperature. So I can increase the temperature or decrease the temperature from the brush right here. I can also dodge it, and you can see that the brush, as I actually paint around in an area, it actually changes that area for me. So let me just press the cross button right here. Let me go to the brush tool again. So let's say I want to dodge and burn only this area right over here a bit, and this area right over here a bit, just like this. And I can bring down the dodge over here. I can decrease this down and then paint it around just like that as well. So I can get really good details, as you can see. But anyways, I'm not going to apply. So now the other thing is healing, as you can see. So if you want to heal something, you can actually just paint around and it'll try to actually mess it up. Just like this, let's say I don't want this whole around. Let me try to heal this. And you can see that it actually tries to change this out so that it does not actually look very, very bad. You can also go around here, and you can see that the healing actually works around. This really works around when you have something like pimples on a person's face. You can simply just smudge it in and the pimples will go away. But in this case, I don't want to apply this. I want the natural scenery. So I'm going to go to the tool again. There's SDR scape. It gives your photo an SDR look. So you can go to people, you can go to nature, you can go to strong or fine, as you can see, just like that. And you can go for filter strength. So I don't want too much. I want a bit of an SDR effect, but not too much over here. On the brightness side, I can increase the brightness. So let me increase that a bit, and saturation maybe a bit, just like that, and press the tick mark button. So I'm going to go to tool again, and let's see the other. There's the glamour glow, which you can apply. So you can have different glow type of effect right over here. And there's saturation over here for that, and there's warmth as well, which you can control. But anyways, I don't want this type of an effect, so I'm going to press the cross mark right over here. So there's tonal contrast over here as well, which gives you high tone. That is, it controls the bright areas, as you can see, and it controls its details. So bright area details, just like that. Medium tones controls the medium level details, and low tones controls the low level details right here. Protect shadows, and if you were to go over here, you can see that it actually increases the shadow range, so it actually makes it darker. I don't want any of this. Protect highlights. It works around with the bright object right over here. So I don't want any of those either. So I'm going to press the tick mark because I'm happy with the change, and then go back to the tool again. So let's see, there's tonal, and another one is drama. So drama actually adds in different kind of filters. You can have the filter strength, as you can see, so you can decrease or increase the strength and work around with the saturation. Anyways, I don't want any of the drama, so I'm going to press the cross mark. So there's vintage over here, which actually gives an old picture like look, just like that. And you can actually go over here, work around with its brightness. You can work around with its saturation right over here. You can work around with its style strength, just like that. And then you can work around with its style strength, you can work around with its vignette strength, and so forth, just like that. So anyways, I don't want to work around with any of these. I can go over here, and you can see that there are different level of effects that you can use. So I'm going to press the cross button, just like that. I'm going to go to tools right over here, and there's the grainy film effect. So you can actually make it look like old vintage film if you want to, and then apply grain effect right over here, increase the level of graininess, or decrease the style strength, just like this. Let me just press the cross button because I don't want any of those either. So now let me go to tools again. There's the Retrolux over here. So it gives you different filters again, different brightness, even light leaks. So let's see what this is. So if you were to go for light leaks, you can see that there's a bit of a haziness there. You can also add in scratches over here as well to give it an old look. Even the style right there, just like that. You can also increase the saturation and so forth. Anyways, I don't want any of this. So it depends on what you want. There's the grunge effect over here as well. And there's different sort of filters over here to give your pictures old look. Comes up with its old styles and pictures, just like that. So gives it an old picture like effect. So let me just press the cross button again, go to tools, and let's see what else we have. So there's black and white picture over here as well. So there's black and white picture, as you can see. So you can work around with black and white if you want to, and you can also go with noir right over here, so which is a black and white picture like effect. There's also portrait mode. So if you actually have a face over here, you can see that no faces are found right now. But if you actually have faces, then you can actually work around with this as well, which you're going to see in a while. Head pose right over here. Again, cannot find anything because there's no head. And you can have the lens blur effect as well, as you can see. So you can work around with different size right here. So use 2 fingers to actually make it larger, make it smaller, just like this, and you can work around with this just like that. You can also go over here and drag it left and right to increase the level of blurriness, just like that. There's also the vignette strength right here. You can increase and decrease it, and the transition, so you can make it sharper or more subtle, just like this. Let me just press the cross button because I don't want that either. So after the lens blur and everything else, so I got the lens blur. I can add in vignette if I want to, so I can have dark or bright vignette right over here. There's inner brightness that you can work with, outer brightness, and so forth, just like this. Let me just press the cross button on that one as well. So I'm going to go to tools. There's the double exposure. So what you can do is you can actually add in another image over here. So let's say I want to add in this image, and you can see that this gives a double exposure like effect, just like that if you want to. So you can add in different level of double exposure effect, and there you go. But I don't want this, so I'm going to go to tools right over here. And another thing that you can add is text. So you can select different sorts of styles right here for the text. You can double tap and then type anything over here, and there you go. So you can type anything just like that. But I'm just going to type it cancel. So I'm just going to go over here. I'm going to type okay, cinema and 4D. All right, so I'm going to press OK, and there you go, just like that. There's also different shades that you can choose for your text right over here. You can also select the opacity. You can also invert it into an effect and choose different styles according to what you want. So a lot of effects, as you can see in this little app. So let me just press the cross button because I don't want that either. Another thing that I can add now are the frames. So I do want a frame for this picture right here. So you can see that I can select any frame that I want. So you can select any of the frame over here according to what you want. Let's say I want to use this one. I can increase and decrease the width, as you can see, and I can press the tick mark button right over here. So once everything is done, I'm ready to export this. So I can simply export this out, and you can save the copy of the photos. Just save the photo, and then it'll tune out the image. It'll add out all of the effect for you, and it'll save out the image in your gallery. So now for the photo is saved, if you were to view it, you can see that I'm using my photos or gallery. You can actually use it. So I'm just going to open it up with my gallery, and there you go, there's my photo. So that's how you edit a picture using the Snapseed. And now we're going to take a look at how to work around with the face tools that we actually saw last time. Now you can see that I got a person's face right over here. So now let's just edit this around with the tools. So if I were to go over here, last time you saw that there's portrait and head pose. So let me just click on portrait right here, and you'll be able to see that there are different portrait options that you can work with. So you can work with the face spotlight over here. As you can see, you can have skin smoothening, which actually smoothens out the skin for you. And you can also increase the eye clarity, as you can see. So you can decrease and increase the clarity of the eyes. You can also have the face spotlight, so it actually focuses just on your face. So you can see that you can have fair, pale, or dark face right over here. So let me just do fair face right over here and press the tick mark right over here. You can immediately see the difference. The other tool that you have for the face is the head pose. And for the head pose, what you can do is you can increase the pupil size. So you can really increase out the eye size right here. So let me just make it a bit bigger. And over here, you can increase the smile as well. So you can make the person smile a bit more right over here, and also work around with the focal length. So you can make it really change the shape of the face, as you can see. You can also go over here and then change out the face direction. So you can see that this is the face, and just tap with your finger on the screen, move it down, and the face looks downwards. You can make him look upward, right, and so forth. So you can see that it is very, very detailed, just like that. So let's just press the tick mark button, and there you go. You have the face. And now you can export it out. And that's how you edit a photo with Snapseed and work around with it. So hope you guys learned something as always. And as always, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.